Class 4 Science. Hello student. Today we will start chapter number 6. It is half done chapter. I am sorry I could not complete this chapter due to some unavoidable circumstances. Today I will finish this chapter. We have already discussed classification of plants, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Terrestrial plants already we have completed. We discussed this portion, and today we will discuss aquatic plants. So plant that lives in water are called aquatic plant. There are so many plants in our surroundings also which survive in water. These plants are called aquatic plant. Aquatic plants are also classified into three groups. One is called fixed plants, number two floating plants, and underwater plants. So fixed plant, what does it mean? Fixed plants. Some plants are there, they lives in water. Actually these are called aquatic plants, but some plants are fixed to bed of the pond. It is they have their root goes up to the soil. Their stem is light and hollow. The broad leaves floats on water. The underside of the leaves is mostly submerged in water. So they have stomata on the upper surface. The stomata helps the plants to breathe. Lotus and water lily are examples of this type of plants. It is fixed plants. Their leaves are broad and leaves are floating on water. These are called, only leaves are floating, not whole plants is floating. Only leaves are floating on water and their root goes up to the soil. These are called fixed plants. Example, water lily, lotus. These are the example of fixed plants. And the stomata of the fixed plants helps them to breathe. I think it is clear to you. Fixed plants are fixed to the bed of the plant. And secondly, floating plants. Some aquatic plants float in water. They have spongy swollen parts, duckweed and water hinge are two such plants. So these are called floating plants. They floats on water. Aquatic plants floats in water. This type of plants are called floating plants. As for example, common example, waterweed. Then underwater plants. Some plants survive under the water. Plants that grow underwater have leaves that are narrow and long. Their body is flexible so that they can move with the water current. They do not have stomata to help them breathe. They breathe through air space in their stem. So it is very important. There are air space in their stem, and with the help of stem they breathe. Underwater plants keep the pond clean. This water makes the pond water clean. Example of underwater plants are tape grass and pondweed. Tape grass and pondweeds are example of underwater plant, and these plants help us clean the water. And lastly, some other interesting plants are there. So these are not under the above groups, that is they are not fixed plant, floating plant, and underwater plants. It is like terrestrial plants, group of terrestrial plants. Uh, and you have heard about the plants eating insect. Plant eating insects. Some plants also eat insects. Actually, these plants, some plants are there. They also prepare their food with the help of photosynthesis, but these are not enough to survive them. So they also eat insects. Hmm. Some plants such as Venus flytrap and pitcher plants are eats insects. They usually grow in areas where soil has insufficient nutrients. And very important point, insufficient nutrients. So the plants get these nutrients by trapping and consuming insects. When an insect sits on the Venus flytrap, the sensitive parts of the leaves snap shut. The insect get trapped inside the leaves. So these are plants are called insectivorous plants. They they uh, prepare their food with the help of photosynthesis, but it is not sufficient. So they also eat insect. When an insect sit on their leaves are very sensitive and they shut and they capture the insects, and this insect is digested and they also get extra nutrients. These plants are called insectivorous plants. Example, pitcher plants, Venus flytrap, common example. Then parasitic plants. Some plants steal food from other plants, that is host plants, and are called parasitic plants. For example, mosquito is a green parasite with the green leaves. It has chlorophyll and can make its own food. However, it gets water and minerals from the host plant. So they live on other plants and they collect extra food from these plants. Though they uh, collect food through photosynthesis, but it is not sufficient. So they also collect food from host plants. These are called parasitic plants. Some plants are total parasitic. So however, it gets water and minerals from the host. The dodder is a total parasite and its leaves are reduced to brown scales. It contains no chlorophyll and absorbs all its food from a host plants. These are called parasitic plants. In our locality also, sometimes perhaps you have seen one type of uh, plants totally green in color like a thread, and they lives in other plants and they have no leaf, extra leaves, they only like a thread, and they collect food from the host plants. These are called total parasitic plants. In our Bengali or Hindi it is called Swarnolota, like golden color. That is it. This is why it is called Swarnolota. So these type of plants are called total parasitic plants. So up to this, so word bank, see the word bank: terrestrial plants, plants that grow on land; aquatic plants, plants that grow on in water. Then adaptation, special features that allow plants to live and grow in their natural environment is called adaptation. And habitat, the natural environment in which a plant or an animal is found, it is called habitat of a plant or animal. So long question, answer I will give you. you try yourself, multiple choice, true or false, etc. Complete it yourself, and long answer question I will give you later on. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.